Yo, what's up, everyone? This is episode 26 of the Glimmer cast. I'm your host, Rhea, and I'm joined by a lovely panel of folks that I'm sure will be joined by additional folks as well. We got Dayzed Gaming in the house, and we got TonyTGD. How are y'all doing?
What's up?
Nice. Yeah, just let me know if the background music is competing with the volume of my voice, and I could turn it down. I like to have it just as like, kind of like ambiotic, like, background noise. But yeah.
Awesome. I dig it.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for making time to chat. Yeah, I've been wanting to have y'all's crew on like all together and just sort of like, just chop it up and see how y'all are doing with content creation and, community engagement, if there's anything you want to get off your chest, or if there's stuff that you're really stoked to talk about, I'd love to hear it. And we're joined by Ninja Kitty. What's up, Ninja Kitty? Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, please just let me know if the background music is too loud, and I can go ahead and adjust it. But yeah, I'm really stoked to like have you on here. And everyone in the chat, we got Bat Dan in the house. Happy Zack Snyder Justice League Day. Restore the Snyderverse. Absolutely. Got Lorenzo Slee Stack in the house. What's up? Tony hanging out in the chat earlier. And Potion Sword Run, Original Seed. Oh, snap, my favorite geeks. No joke. Yeah, Lorenzo is really cool, like hanging out in the Amico chats with me while y'all are streaming. And Anthony Beltry in the house, good to see you. Happy Friday. And let's see, Potion Sword Run says, what's good? The Geek Getaway, can't wait to hear you guys are up to on the channel with your channel. Yeah, no, exactly. We're gonna get into it. Just wanted to greet everyone in the chat. Okay, cool. Thank you for the heads up. Gary will be joining us shortly. And good evening again, Lorenzo. Dorkside in the house. What's up, Dorkside? Good to see you, Luke. And yeah, everyone's just greeting each other. That's what's up. Yeah, no, thank y'all again for making time to chat. So like, yeah, I just wanted to kind of like get a chance to chat with y'all about like games you're playing, like content that you're working on, anything new, like project wise y'all are kind of, thinking about developing and stuff, either on your own respective channels or as like a collaboration or things like that. Yeah, I can start out with Dayzed. I know that you've been live streaming a lot more, which is really cool. But yeah, tell me more about like, stuff that you're working on the channel and things that you want to be working on in the future.
Well, I am very poor to ask that because I literally have no plans. I never have a plan. It just kind of like shit pops in my head and then I decide I want to do it that day. But yeah, no, I've been doing more live streaming. I'm glad you mentioned that because I would have completely forgot to even mention it. Yeah, Carl and I have been doing some live streaming on my channel and just opening it up to anybody that wants to come on there. I know Ninja Kitty came on there one time and just kind of, I like the last time I did it, I called it like an open mic sort of a thing, just because I thought it would be cool just to kind of get to know people in the community, just let people that maybe would be kind of shy to come on to other live streams. I want them to try to feel comfortable and maybe break out and hear what they have to say. But yeah, also doing stuff with Geek Getaway. I wasn't able to make the stream last Saturday, but I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. And yeah, just, I don't know, like whatever, I guess what some videos I might make to throw up on their channel, and then some videos I'm still going to do on my channel. I just thought it would be kind of fun, if we all just kind of, work together. So yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's. Are you planning to do more hammock streams? Because like that's where I found out about your content, and I'm glad you started them up now or back up.
Yeah,
again.
Well, it's all based on weather. Like this weekend, I was going to try to do one, but I think it's supposed to rain all freaking weekend. So that's kind of the problem with doing hammock streams. Is it's definitely weather based. But like, yeah, that'll be something I do. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to ever be like pigeonholed into one thing. I like to try to do many things or I'll just get burnt out. If I have something to say, I will lay in the hammock and talk about it. If I don't, I might, film myself going out like I do, like going and thrifting or yard sales, or maybe there's a game I want to talk about. It's just kind of whatever tickles my fancy that day. Like, I don't know. I don't really have a direction I want to go. It's just something fun for me to do, and I like it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like, I kind of treat my channel kind of like as like just like a blog of like cool stuff that I'm interested in talking about that given day. Yeah, so
exactly.
I like it when channels are just sort of like someone's, you know, like whatever I feel like doing type of channel. It doesn't feel like manufactured content to like face the algorithm or anything like that. I know that's something that's been a hot topic this week for folks, like, you know, people doing content not necessarily for the love of covering, you know, what they're interested in. And I never got that vibe from you. I always felt like you're talking about something because you genuinely are interested in it, not trying to like write a grift or anything like that.
Right. If I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to bother. I'll just hang out with my family, watch a movie with them. You know, it's like I get these, like, it's weird. Like sometimes I'll be lying in bed at night and just like these ideas will just come to me like from nowhere, and I'll have to get up and I'll write them down on paper. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what was I thinking? You know, or sometimes it might turn into like an idea of something I want to do. Like I might try to do some more funny videos or something too. Like I used to do a lot of like funny skits on my channel, and I might try to do some of that stuff again, you know, like, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah. I want to ask you more about some of the games that you want to stream and stuff like that later on, but I want to jump to Ninja Kitty, who is kind of an unofficial member of the Geek Getaway, but he always is, you know, bopping around different channels and stuff. So I wanted to chat with him. Ninja Kitty, are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Yay! So good to have you on. So yeah.
I apologize if you hear noise in the background. My child doesn't want to go to sleep, so.
Oh yeah, it's like almost like 10:30 where you're at, right? Or
it's about it's 9 right now, but.
Okay.
They're all hopped up on sugar and going crazy, so.
Oh, no problem. If you need to like hop off, I totally understand.
I'll just yell louder and be like, "Get to bed!"
No, it's awesome. Yeah, no, I am stoked to have you on to chat with you. I'm a big fan of your content as well, and a lot of like the speculation and discussion content that you do is really fascinating to me because you get really into the nuts and bolts of
the nitty gritty.
Yes, a lot like Tony, but you have like a very like. It's really hard for me to kind of like describe how different y'all are, like in terms of the content you make, because like you're more of like the speculation sort of like give your take side, and then Tony does the like he finds the receipts and then like shows you the screenshots of the receipts with the timestamps and things like that. But
we refer to Tony as the hater.
No. They're like I've been chatting with y'all for like a good like few months, and there's no hate. There's valid, you know, there's validity in a lot of what you share. So I just want to like kind of like say that like y'all are here because like I dig y'all as people, and I think that the work you do is really fascinating, and you're doing a lot like to keep like not only this conversation going, but also like to continue to like unsurface really like interesting things for us to continue to talk about. So yeah, like you, Tony, are definitely like folks that whenever you post a video, I'm gonna like take time to watch it. But yeah, like what I was talking to Dayzed about was like, yeah, like making content for like the love of making content is something that I really admire from folks, especially when they put like their own personal spin on it and stuff. And I wanted to get your take on, you know, what is it that like is really like pushing you or motivating you to like continue to cover like Amico or like other, you know, like topics around YouTube and just the commentary field in general? Like what's keeping you like invested?
Well, for myself, it's a mixture. It started same way as Dayzed did. I just felt like the first video I made just so it would bring awareness of just how messed up in television was with what they had said. So I thought there isn't enough people talking about it, so that's why I started. And what made me continue is it's a mixture of just I like the discussion, generating discussion, but also just to help my creative side. And I do like making weird, they may be dumb videos or silly videos, but it's fun to be creative and to goof around. And I've seen a lot of other people doing that much more recently with the music videos, and like I see Potion Sword run there, like his funny stuff, and I like the creative aspect of just making the videos based off like a really silly situation. And I like the community. It's a pretty cool community, and it's really I've been exposed to a lot more of it in the last, I'd say, like month or so, and especially the last week or so. I've just been flooded with messages, so it's kind of neat.
Yeah, no, like especially with you covering a lot of like the recent like fundraising, you know, commentary and the community engagement around that. And never like ever since like I started interacting with y'all has it ever felt like it was like malicious or, you know, sort of like hatery or trolly. Like in fact, y'all would like clue me in on, you know, like the actual like trolls and like negativity in the community. Because like me as like someone who's like fresh eyes, like, you know, like not really understanding a whole lot of like the pre-existing context of the community around like the Amico or even like what events took place beforehand. I was like just basically learning as I went on, and a lot of like the history I would learn from y'all, like reviewing it on live streams or in your videos. So yeah, it was really refreshing to get like multiple sides, you know, accounts of like the same things that happened or events that
different
transpired.
interpretations. And
yes, exactly. So I never felt like I was getting like one-sided information, because I would get it from like Tony, and then like Ninja, you would cover it because you've been following it, and then Dayzed, I would hear your take on it too, and then Gary, who just joined us, like you helped me a lot last week with when I asked like really what I felt were level 1 questions about like the history and stuff like that, but you totally didn't come off as like talking down to me or as if like, you know, I was asking stupid questions. You were more than happy to like explain it to me. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you making time to chat on the show. And just something I was chatting with Ninja about was like, you know, what's keeping you motivated to like continue talking about like events around like in television and just like video games as a whole. Like, did you ever feel like, you know, commentary was like your bag and that you wanted to pursue it? And is this the format that you envisioned it happening in?
Personally, I mean, Amico wise and television wise, I'm really burnt out on the subject. But games in general are just, you know, my thing. They've been my thing since I was little. So I can, you know, Tony knows this. You know, when we're done and the lights are off and the show's over, I can talk these guys' ears off. So
yeah, no, like I feel like the topic of Amico in television is definitely one, like, it only comes to mind when I see someone live streaming about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, like all these memories like start flooding back to my brain, and I'm like ready to, you know, like hear about the latest news or any speculation that happens. But 90% of the time, like, I'm not thinking about it at all. I'm thinking about actual games I want to play that I have that I'm excited to play, and other actual video game news. So,
right, exactly.
So this is like such a like very like niche side of a niche like topic that is very specific to YouTube in this community that for some reason I'm just like super fascinated with. So yeah, I'm stoked that I can like come to y'all specifically for that information, like at least once a week on the live stream, where I could just hang out for like hours and just like have y'all like, you know, entertain us like with like video commentary and stuff like that. But I hear what you're saying about like being a little like burnt out on the topic because you cover it so much.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and part of it is I kind of wish that like there was something that we did have something tangible to you know, to play or talk about. It's a downer that, you know, at the end of the day, it's not that I wanted to see it fail. And I think a lot of people that, you know, sometimes I can be a little mean in comment sections, and obviously you know, there's a feud going on between, you know, certain people and, you know, the way that they look at how we view it. But at the beginning, I just didn't see it going anywhere. And as a long time television fan, you know, I did want to see it succeed. I just, in my opinion, didn't think they were going the right way about it. And the things that I wanted to see, you know, games that I've loved playing over the years from my original in television, I just didn't see them hitting that aspect, or at least appealing to that demographic. So it does really break my heart that it kind of didn't. You know, it was an idea that could have worked, and maybe they're a few years too late on it. I don't know what the right recipe for them would have been, but you know, it's definitely it breaks my heart to not see it succeed. Because at the end of the day, I didn't want to see it fail, but it was just one of those things where I kind of knew in my gut that like they're just not going about it right.
Yeah, totally. And like, again, it definitely does feel like, well, how many times can we criticize them for like, you know, these mistakes and like, you know, how many times can we like just like paint out like exactly how things should have happened? But at the same time, it's just something that like is just been really captivating to talk about, like, because it feels like I'm going to jump to Tony, because like it just seems like every like other day there's always something new happening or something new that's like unearthed for us to stay invested on. And Tony, I wanted, you know, shout you out, give you the last but not least mentions, because like we're all here like talking right now, like because of your, you know, the work that you did on your channel and all, like, you know, the investigative journalism you've done, and yeah, like the positive like community, like, you know, open and welcomeness that you've shown to me and other folks as well who were really new to the topic. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of hear your take on you know, what does the future hold for your channel? Like, do you feel like investigative journalism is something that you want to continue doing on your channel, or do you have other plans?
Oh man, we have so many plans, man. So many plans. Problem is, we can never actually get them, to, you know, to come to fruition. I have too much ambition. I'm like Dayzed Gaming here. You know, I got all kind of ideas. I write them down. I'm gonna do all this. I got plans, and then I get tired. I'm like, I ain't gonna do any of that. I'm lazy.
It's still fun, like when like there is something that you can just like throw together a video for, and then it like everyone's like really excited, and then everyone else starts making videos, like, you know, like commenting on what you found, and then like there's another live stream that talks about it, and then there's more stuff being unsurfaced. And so it's just like you're kind of that person who like keeps the conversation going to a large degree, because you've surfaced so much that has like spawned a bunch of other different channels, you know, like digging deeper and deeper into this topic. So yeah, if nothing else, like you can't just say that you're lazy, because it's like you've inspired like a whole community to like continue talking about this topic, you know. So I just want to shout you out for that.
And when it kind of started, like I initially only made one video, and if it weren't for like, you know, Tony having his channel and kind of having that, you know, open discussion and open forum for us, you know, I might not be, you know, doing this, and I might not be talking, you know, on the show. So that definitely pushes me, because, you know, like Tony said, I kind of find it hard with everything else that I'm juggling, you know, the family, and I've really in the last month have been putting a lot of effort into my my artwork and stuff. But to find the time is hard to do it on my own. But I get like kind of a boost, you know, knowing that like Tony's there to kind of keep it organized, and we can just, you know, have our thoughts and our discussions on, you know, certain days. So
yeah. I run a tight ship. I got these guys crack the whip on them.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, let me see. So like we had someone in the chat ask about Elden Ring and if it's worth getting. I actually haven't started playing it. Has anyone on the panel started? Oh, hey, Mr.
I have not. I don't have an like next gen consoles. The best thing I have right now is my Switch. So unfortunately, that's not on Switch.
Gotcha. How about you, Ninja Kitty? Or any interest in Elden Ring or any feedback around it? Well,
I made a decision because I try to limit myself on what I'm buying because I don't want to buy too much. And I chose Triangle Strategy over buying Elden Ring, so I haven't played it yet.
No regrets, though. That's a solid choice. How about you, Dayzed? Any interest in Elden Ring or not?
You know, honestly, no. I haven't even looked at anything about the game. I don't even really know what all it's about. Honestly, I've been playing been playing Sonic 2. Like I play a lot of old games. Like when I go back, like it's the only new game that I've been playing, and I've said it before, is like I've been playing Halo. Like I've been streaming. Like Ninja Kitty came on the stream the other day, and we were playing the new Halo. I did download Streets of Rage, the new Streets of Rage 4, and played that. Like that's. Maybe these guys are helping me, and Carl too, like helping me to branch out more into like modern games. Like I'm a gaming channel, but I should really be retro gaming, you know, because I really am very poor at modern games. But my son's into it a lot, so he keeps me informed on a lot of stuff that's going on.
And I think that's a good point that you bring up. I think a lot of us are we're close in age. I kind of think that I don't know if Blinded ended up picking up Elden Ring, but I do think like the Souls games and Elden Ring are geared. I think the younger crowd is more into that. And I mean, I like modern games. Don't get me wrong. I love modern games. Souls games are just not for me. But I do think that those are kind of geared towards the younger crowd.
Yeah, like I know Potion Sword Run and Ken have been playing it a lot, and Gen X Gamer too, who's probably like one of the older folks.
Yeah, he's older than me. Even
he's like 70.
And he's enjoying the game too. But like, yeah, to Gary's point, like in Dayzed's point, I just kind of stick to my tried and true JRPGs, like games that remind me of games that I love. Because the limited time that I have to game, I don't want to like stress over learning new mechanics and spending money on a game that I may not like. So I kind of stay to the the beaten trail or beaten path of triangle strategy, which may be very reminiscent of like past Final Fantasy games or other like tactical role playing games or whatever. But it's still something I would enjoy playing, and I think that's kind of what folks are kind of losing track of, like playing the most modern, newest games versus just enjoying the games that you want to play. Like, yeah, Dayzed, you're playing Sonic 2 and Streets of Rage, like, because you want to play those. So yeah.
It's because we're old.
We'll get around to Elden. Sorry,
I was gonna say we like our comfort food. We don't want to get out of our. And another issue is Dayzed is a gamer like myself, where we get angry at games when we lose.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
I'm pretty sure I can't speak for his wife, but my wife, she wouldn't like it if I played Elden Ring because the amount of profanities. If we had a swear jar, that'd be filled in like 10 seconds because it is so hard.
I have my own game room. I can go up and close the door so nobody can hear my cursing.
Yeah, no, Max is bringing up a good point. How do you guys fit games into your schedule and maximize your enjoyment? Tony, I know you stream often with your family. So is that more or less the time that you dedicate to do that, or do you game outside of that time?
Oh, I game outside of it, but it's really hard because work, family, trying to get stuff together for the channel, whether that's reaching out to developers or other companies. I got to squeeze it in. I got to every second of the day, I got to use either to do something for work or do something for the channel. And those little bit of nuggets of time, I'll play some games. That's why I sleep like 2 hours a night. That's my best recommendation. Stop sleeping. You don't need it. The government is lying to you. You don't need to sleep at all. Conspiracy.
Are you a super sleeper?
I just wanted to shout out Retro Bro. Good to see you. I'm stoked that you are back on YouTube. I'm looking forward to more content from you for sure. I got to have you on the show at some point too. I have to have more of y'all on the show. But yeah, so as far as like gaming time for you, Ninja, you do tend to keep up with a lot of like newer releases. You even told me about some limited run games that I would be interested in that I picked up. So thank you for that. But when do you find time to actually play those games?
Unfortunately, I have to do what Tony does, and I usually go to bed around like 3 a.m, wake up around 7, so I don't sleep a whole lot.
Wow.
And but I do work from home, and if I'm a bad employee, sometimes I play games while I'm at work. Hopefully, it doesn't affect them. And that's when I make my videos also.
Nice.
It was really cold in winter here in Canada, like parts where I live. So we can't really do a whole lot of stuff in winter because it's just absolutely freezing. So that's when I game the most. And otherwise, it's late at night when everyone's asleep. And just try to squeeze it in because I've always played tons of games. Like since I was a kid, I've always played crap loads of games. So I try to, and like going back to Elden Ring, I try to avoid playing games that take hundreds of hours because I'd rather play a bunch of 8-hour games. So like, I could play 10 8-hour games or else one super long game, if that makes sense. So I try playing a bunch of the games that, like the indie games and stuff that are short. And I could beat in a weekend. So that's I mostly do that, or else I just neglect my wife and children and just play games and let them neglect their hanging out with them. But I try
That's
not to
why I
do
got divorced. I had to get rid of the wife. So I got a game.
Yeah, you needed
No
more
one's advocating
time.
that. Boo. Gary, no, I'm surprised that you don't stream more on your channel or on the Geek Getaway. Is it just like a matter of like, not much time to really dedicate to sitting down and playing on a stream and interacting at the same time?
So basically, this has been a long running thing on the Geek Getaway that Gary doesn't have internet. So I basically run off of my streaming on my phone right now. I tried to get the OBS and everything on my computer ready to go for when I do get internet here shortly. Oh my God, out of all these guys, I guess I'm the one with probably the most unhealthy gaming habit. Like I said, I've been addicted since I was a kid. Like I can remember my earliest memories, like all my earliest memories, I remember playing games. Like when I was like 3 and we went to Disney World. The very small parts of Disney World I remember were playing Double Dragon Arcade. And when we would go on camping trips, I could remember playing Gauntlet at certain places. I mean, gaming has been a huge part of my life for a long time. And I have probably an unhealthy gaming, relationship. I'm most, I guess you could consider me like Mr. Mom. Have you guys ever seen Mr. Mom? Michael Keaton?
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of, I run the house with the old ladies at work. I cook, I clean, I take care of the kids. So I do have a little bit more time to kind of game than most people would. And then I have my side hustle,
Lucky.
but it's mainly really I have to juggle it though with doing my art and my animation, because that does take up like that chews up a lot of my time doing what I've been doing for probably the last 5 years. I kind of get sidetracked on different stuff, like different projects, but I've mainly been working, obviously the character that you see on my icon is a character that I've been working on and trying to kind of condense and make better for, the last few years. And it's obviously taken different shapes and sizes throughout the years, but it's something that I've really been pushing towards. There's a lot of obstacles in my way, but I mainly have to juggle between my art, my animation, and then playing games, because it's either do I want to play something, and I'll get hooked into something like I just picked up Dread today, and I put about an hour into it, but I could sit down and probably play 4 or 5 hours if I really wanted to, but then I get the other guy said, you gotta work that sleep in there. So do I want to be up all night and then work 3-4 hours of sleep into it? Or do I want to, focus that time on, going towards my art and my animation, which, sucks up your time. Especially, I'm a perfectionist, so, getting every little pixel right and doing things just right really affects me. But yeah, I have a huge gaming obsession. That's why I'm the obsessive compulsive gamer. But yeah, I love playing games. Like I said, it's been a big part of my life. And I really need to check myself in.
No, that's thank you so much for sharing that, because I never realized that your icon was an original character. I thought it was an original Game Boy sprite or something, so I wasn't 100% sure the origin of your character. So is it a game that you're working on? Your mic is cutting out. I think you're on mute.
Oops. Okay, there we go. So for the last few years, like I said, it's gone through a couple different renditions. I've been kind of pinning it down, and for the most part, I've been looking for someone that could probably do the coding side, programming side of it. I've kind of gotten to the point where I think I'm gonna have to do it myself, and it more so comes down to I don't want to show too much, and I've showed these guys some stuff here and there, so I'm kind of self-conscious about it. At the same time, I've tried to show bits and pieces to maybe try to get somebody on board, but I don't think I've been showing enough of it. That just because I don't want to show too much. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been something that's kind of, evolved over, the last 5 years. What really got me into it was the Flipnote Studio that was on originally it was on the DS, and then they had made an improvement to it on the 3DS, and that's really what kicked off because my artistic skills were never really the greatest when it came to like drawing stuff, but I found out that pixeling I could do, I could make a lot of corrections to it and make it my own, and it's just been something that I've enjoyed doing for a long time, and that's the direction I'm trying to go into. Yes, I would love it to become something more, and I've talked to a bunch of people. I've talked to Ninja Kitty a lot about this, and probably getting into the programming side. So I'm really trying to see if maybe, just maybe, in the next couple of years, and hopefully maybe the Playdate does come out, and maybe that is an avenue, because obviously they have an SDK, and that's going to be open for a lot of people. So there's Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, they have those walls where you could possibly get into making a game for something like that, but there's a lot of restrictions, right? You have to jump through a lot of hoops. But maybe one day, down the road, maybe something for the Playdate could come out, or I take the Unity. I try my hand at Unity and see if I can get something out on Steam. But yeah, I really would love to get, this idea out of my head, because it's been bugging me. It's like something I absolutely have to get done, but it's hard trying to find somebody to, partner up with, and maybe somebody you can trust to handle a property, right? Because this is my baby.
No, thank you for giving me more context around your own creative projects that you're working on, and I think that's really cool that you're aiming to even potentially put it on something like the Playdate or something too, because that's one console that I wish there was more content on, but there really isn't anyone really talking about it. I think I only know that it exists because y'all would mention it in passing, and then I would look it up, and y'all would show images of it with a little crank, and it looks like a little Game Boy-ish shaped device. I don't know if y'all have any opinions on the Playdate, or if it's cool, but I don't really see people talking about it too much, and I'm just well, what's the appeal of it then? Because I'm wondering when it is released, what's going to happen. So I don't know, Dayzed, if you have any thoughts, or Tony.
Gary never shuts up about the Playdate. That's all he ever talks about.
Are you serious?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm guilty.
This is news to me, because like I said, I don't ever really maybe because I don't watch that much content that of folks who cover it, so I'm not looking for that content, or it's not being recommended to me.
It really has. It really has kind of lost a bit of steam in the last few months, and I think that's because of the delays. Obviously, they had a battery issue that they had to resolve. And then they had an issue with I think it was the batteries going forward, or the parts. I believe it was parts going forward. So they kind of had to do a redesign, I believe. So those are kind of affecting why the Playdate's been delayed. And what's that?
Oh, Ninja, you said you have something on the Playdate, or any updates?
Well, I have a pre-order also, but it's a prime opportunity since no one's covering it. If only there was a channel with geeks on it, and somebody who was invested in it, Gary, to make videos about it.
Yeah, Gary.
I definitely do want to do more videos on it. There is a channel that has sprung up,
but it's not for the most channel,
right. For the most part, I don't think people are really following it right now. I think once it does, hit people's hands, I think there's going to be a lot more traction with it. And I am gonna,
ground floor, Gary.
Oh, I know. I do plan on doing some videos and some deep dives on, the unit and the games that do come out every week when it finally does arrive. We should be seeing that. It should be getting close to an announcement. I want to say by the end of maybe March, April. Hopefully they'll have it, pegged down, locked in, and we start seeing those arrive. I am in the second batch. I initially thought I was in the first batch, but I'm in the second batch. I should be most likely seeing it sometime around May. So I'm excited though.
What is the cost of it, Gary? I can't remember.
I believe it was $179. Or yeah, I think it was $179, and that was just the standard play date. You can also get the
It also comes with the games.
well, yeah, you get 24 games over the course of what, 6 months?
Also,
3
they
months?
were
I think
released
it's
in
3
waves.
months.
Like you.
So yeah,
plug it
so
in
they're
and
giving
firmware updates or something.
yeah, so it's got like a Wi-Fi, and every week you're getting, I think, a game on like a Tuesday and a Thursday or something like that, or a Monday and a Friday. Well, they're getting 2 games a week, and I think they're going to do that for 3 months. I can't remember the exact how long that stretches out for. I think it's about 3 months.
But there
yes,
also
you're
is
supposed to get 24
fan-made games, Gary.
Well, like I said, the console's going to have an open SDK, which means you're going to be able to
But they also
sideload
have
games for free.
the web-based
yes.
tool
Right.
where you can make games right now for it.
Ooh,
Right, so
Gary,
you can create tile based. That's very, very low. I wish it was something I could use. It'd be nice, but that's a little
It's below
too
you.
simplistic for what it is. It's not. It's not quite.
It's beneath
I couldn't quite use that for what I need to use it for. But that's, it's a great thing if you want to make something really simple. There is that available for people who kind of want to get their their hands wet, their feet wet, and kind of dabble in the little things.
I said I was going to make a
game development.
JRPG, Gary. I was going to make a Miko JRPG. And
Are
have
you
all-
still
all
doing
you
that?
guys. I can't. I haven't started, but I can make a really crude one since I know how to program. Or else I can help Gary out. I have a good deal for you, Gary. For your game, I'll only take 50%. You have to move to Germany, and I can get us $500,000. I know a guy. I know a
Deal.
guy.
That's good. That's a good plan.
Is his
You just
name
have to
Hans?
move to Germany.
I already got RPG Maker. We're halfway there, gentlemen.
Hey,
Sweet.
I'm not making an RPG. It's a platformer, guys.
Well, I got a platform maker too on Steam. Don't worry about it, Gary. I got you.
Speaking of Steam, I want to get y'all's opinion on the Steam Deck because I'm someone who obviously I like to have handheld consoles. I like to have really niche experiences that are contained within their own little platforms, and the Steam Deck is a good way for me to catch up on some games that I missed out on Steam and play it in my preferred format, which is handheld. But I just wanted to get y'all's take on it and see if it's something that if you have time or unlimited funds, you would go ahead and cash out on it, or is it just not for you? I want to start with Dayzed.
It's interesting. I don't know how much if I bought it, I don't know how much I would actually play it though. I have so many freaking games right now and so many things that I don't already play. It's like the idea of buying something new right now is it's just almost like, why? Because I've got so much stuff I need to do, but I do like the idea of it. I haven't really played on Steam a whole lot. I watch my son play it a lot. I could see him being interested in it. I can see a lot of younger people maybe being interested in it. I don't know though. At my age, I don't know if a lot of people would buy it. Maybe they would. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I know that Steam has struggled in the past when they've tried to, release hardware, and so it'll be interesting to see if it works. I mean, I would like to. I don't know. Probably not.
Their first attempt at hardware was an Ouya console, right? Or am I incorrect?
That, or didn't they try to do a controller or something too? And it was kind of a
They
failure.
had Steam boxes.
Yes.
What they called it.
Yeah. What happened
Right,
to that?
and that was actually released back in what, 2015, or I mean, that's quite
A
old.
little bit earlier.
At this point. Yeah, that's quite old at this point.
Was it just an Android box, that you play apps on, basically?
I believe so. I think the timing was kind of off on it, but from what I understand, I think what was actually offered was worth the money. I could be wrong.
Basically,
Was it $200, $300 or something?
it was it's kind of like a low-end PC with the Steam operating system on it instead of Windows. So it was designed around it, and you didn't have to buy it. you could use your own computer. So I made a cheap computer using the Steam OS, and it worked nicely. But I could also make a cheap computer with Linux running the Steam client, and it could do a whole lot more. So there wasn't really much of an appeal for it, like a reason to own one.
Tony, how about you? Like, are you a fan of the Steam Deck or like Android boxes, consoles, or are you just like, nah, I have this stuff already in like other formats?
I'm like Dayzed. I don't think I have any need for a Steam Deck. I got one on pre-order, which is weird, but I don't think I have a need for it. I got like 400 games backlog on PlayStation. I got like 50 games on the Switch backlog. I got probably 100 PC games on Steam that I got to play. I don't know. I'm going to get it. I'm a YouTuber. We got to get it, right? I got to show it off and be cool.
Somebody's got to get it.
I mean, I guess it could be a write-off. I don't know how write-offs work, but yeah, that's what I hear. Like with people just like, continue to get these new hardwares to like write off. But what about you, Ninja? I know you pre-ordered one. I'm sure you're genuinely excited for it, but do you feel like it'll be something that you play a lot, or is it just sort of an oddity for you?
Well, I actually have a need for it because summer times I usually go out to a cabin which doesn't have everything, and at night it'd be cool to have a handheld to play that's really good. Like the Switch is good, but the Steam is better, and the games are so much cheaper on the Steam. Like I keep buying stuff every single time they have a sale. It's like an addiction. So I'll go on and see, well, it's only $4 to buy a game, which would be normally like 30 or 40 on Xbox or Switch. So then I just keep buying them. So
right.
It's also part of the plan because moving forward with videos, I was going to do a lot more videos on like the smaller games, like stuff on Steam, because there's so much more on Steam than the other consoles. And I'm super excited because then I can play the games on the go. So I actually have a need, and also being like an IT person, all my coworkers pre-order Steam Decks, and it's not too big of a deal for them because they're much more hardcore. Because when they're buying video cards, they're dropping like $2-3 grand on a video card. So spending $1,000 on a Steam Deck is small potatoes in comparison. So, and
that's like the higher end one, right? Like the highest specs. Like the
I'm referencing Canadian dollars, so yes, it'd be like
you're gonna pay more,
about 30 American dollars.
Oh, gotcha. D-Reed asked a good question in the chat. Question: what will you all think the next scam console that someone will try to push be? Magnavox, Tiger, Philips. These are all antiquated names, so I don't know like if they're likely to come back up unless like y'all think otherwise.
I think it's over.
I'm thinking Vectrex. Yes, I was gonna say Vectrex. In fact, I'm planning on doing a Vectrex video soon. I'm gonna play it and film it and shoot that. So yeah, I think that would be funny if Vectrex tried to do a scam console.
It's gonna be the Miko Junior. You guys know that. The mini console for the Miko. Willing to put money on
for that. Tiger handhelds, like Retro Complex in the chat. What's up, Ken? Tiger came with something. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm just remembering like those Tiger handhelds with the alternate.
The R Zone.
Yeah.
The Tiger R Zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, in all seriousness,
Tiger has no love.
I think it's over though.
Tiger is like known as just cheap crap games. Like I don't think it'd be hard to try to scam people with that because it's already those games already were a scam back in the day. You had the great graphics on it. You're like, oh, I'm gonna play Double Dragon on Tiger. You get it home and it's literally like the most pathetic thing ever. So those are already a scam.
These are like McDonald's toy video games, basically. That's how I am familiar with them.
McDonald's actually made at one point. McDonald's actually gave away in Happy Meals little handheld games like Asteroids. I have a few of them actually.
Yeah, I remember AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd, like reviewed a lot of them, and I'm just like, why are you even like wasting time? Like,
I have a bunch of them. I don't even know why. I put them. I bought like what are those? What is that? Stuff that command strips, like with the Velcro. I've just got a bunch and I put them up like on the trim in my windows, like in between it, just a bunch of Tiger games that just because I like the artwork on it, but the games are horrible. Like I'll never take them down and play them, but I like the artwork is cool.
Say what you will about those games, but I used to have a Star Fox watch, which was because basically those Tiger games are like Game & Watches. But I actually had a Star Fox version of the Nintendo watch, and I would take, I'd have that on at school back in the day. I'd be playing that. So
school, definitely.
I loved it.
School,
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you take anything at school,
No, I mean, they definitely look cool. What was another Tiger Electronics thing? The Gamecom. Yes, I remembered.
Yes, the Gamecom.
Yeah. Like, did y'all own a Gamecom back in the day?
I didn't. My buddy had one, and I believe, I don't know if it was like Doom. There was a decent game that was released for it. He had one of the decent games, but it was horrible. It was miserable to play. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, no, like the Gamecom is like one of those distant memories, like kind of like the Dreamcast was for me. Like I have very like far off, like 20 plus years ago memories of when I was like a little kid where I was like playing it a lot. And only like videos or photos of me actually doing it help me like remember those like forgotten memories, I guess, like because they're just so deeply buried in my psyche because that's how long ago they were for me. But yeah, like those are the things too that like Gamescom, Dreamcast, those Tiger Electronics toys, they're all just like so deeply like, buried under all my adult memories that I'm like, I have to actually see them in order to remember that they exist. And the other thing that I remembered like just barely like unsurfaced right now is like these Nokia consoles as well. They were like cell phone / handheld consoles. Did y'all ever own one of those?
Was that the N-Gage?
Yes. Yeah. Did you own one?
No, I did not. No,
I did not. No,
I remember them, but I did not own one.
I feel like that was like a rich kid like gaming console / cell
very
phone.
niche. I worked at GameStop when it was released. It was launched.
I believe those are worth quite a bit of money now.
They are, but at the time, we sold one in 3 months, and we just took them off the shelf. Just one unit.
Those came out, I think, around the time the Game Boy SPs were coming out. Correct?
Well, it was like 2001 or 2 or something like that. It was pretty early.
Yeah. So, well, that might have been around GBA days. Yeah. So I think a lot of people
really
were looking
expensive too.
Yeah, I think they were like a couple $100, and then the games weren't cheap either. I think people were looking at like Game Boy Advance consoles and saying, what would I rather have? Would I rather have?
Well, I'll say this, Gary. When I was working at the store, the N-Gage was behind the glass cabinet, behind the till, and maybe 2 feet wide, 2 shelves up. Like it's like just a really small little corner. Meanwhile, Nintendo had a full wall of advertisements,
right.
And so everyone coming in, and not to mention, no parent's gonna buy the N-Gage for their kid. When I worked on Saturdays, we'd sell hundreds of GBA. It was GBA at the time. GBA games, like they were pumping out, and same with like Pokemon cards and Digimon cards.
Right.
Like it was so hot that the N-Gage was more for like the adults with extra money.
Right, and part of the draw to that was actually having like a phone, right? Because the whole point of that was to kind of have a phone and have gaming. It's funny that like now that is kind of like the common thing, right? People have their phones and they do their gaming. Obviously, most of those games people get are usually on the on the free side or have the microtransactions. But I mean, they were kind of ahead of their time. That they seen a market, right? And they kind of thought that would be a good way to go. But these, they were trying to appeal to gamers, and those games weren't. It wasn't pretty, from what I remember.
Really quick, I wanted to get to Potion Sword Run's question. Is Griftbuster still a thing at the Geek Getaway? Tony, do you want to speak on this?
Yeah, it is still a thing. I am working on it. People like Ninja Kitty are trying to convince me not to do it. They say that it's not the kind of content we should be putting on the channel, and we should be focusing more on video game content and geek stuff and not drama. I'm trying to convince them to get in on it with me, but it's a little bit of a struggle. Like I said, we got so many plans and so many things that I'm interested in, they're interested in. It's hard to juggle everything and get it onto one channel. Speaking of things that we're going to do, we're bringing back the Fairchild Channel F. We're buying the price. That's going to be the next retro scam. Putting Dayzed on that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. Your mic was cutting in and out. Can you repeat that?
The Fairchild Channel F is going to be the next scam.
What is that?
And a really old, obscure console that it was actually, I wasn't at the first console that had interchangeable cartridges, I think that was like its claim to fame, or it like invented that.
Was this like a late 70s or mid 70s console or something more recent?
1974
it was late
when it launched.
Whoa. Deep cut.
Yeah. Deep dive.
Yeah. No, like, do you have any personal experience with that console? Like, why are you personally like interested in it?
No, it was just a joke because you said which old one.
It was a poor joke that didn't land.
Oh, that went way over my head. I was thinking like this is real content we can look forward to. Sorry.
I'm with you. That'd be no sense.
I've never come across a
Boomer
channel
jokes.
of a Fairchild anywhere, so I've never seen one. I would buy one if the price was decent.
Gosh, everyone laugh at me because I don't understand jokes or subtlety or humor. So yes. No, this is awesome. I wanted to also ask y'all so I personally consider arcade cabinets and like the arcade one-ups like physical media. I was chatting with OTG Overthink Gaming about like his collection and affinity towards it, and I'm getting more interested in it as I'm like starting to watch more YouTubers cover those like that part of the gaming sphere, but I don't really see that on y'all's channel. So I don't know if it's just because like you're just personally not interested in arcade games or not.
I like arcade games. I have my Super Pac-Man cabinet in there. It's got 60 games on it, but I have no interest in the one-up arcades. I mean, if people do, that's cool. I don't want to crap on it, but for me, I would rather just, if I was going to have an arcade, I want like the real deal. That's kind of how I roll.
Don't worry,
cool if that's what people are into.
I will crap on it for you. Arcade one-ups are overpriced emulation boxes for people who want to pretend they're rich. Right? They're for people who want to have arcade rooms but can't afford a real one, so they get an arcade one-up cabinet. That's really what it is.
Like,
Shots fired.
But you can actually have more arcades if you get the smaller ones, right? Isn't that like a good compromise?
I don't know. I've tried to play them at Walmart. I just don't like I don't know, maybe just growing up in the arcades, I don't really, the joysticks feel kind of cheap to me is the thing. So
I'll speak to this a little bit because I did recently get the original Turtles cab. I did not buy it full price. I bought it secondhand for around $200. And I found a really good deal on a stool. So for under, I think it was like $270 or $280, I got the arcade cab and I got the stool. Now, I'll agree with Dayzed here. When I first played the Turtles arcade cab at Walmart, I didn't like the buttons either. I didn't really like the joysticks all that much. And maybe, I don't know if he's tested them out like when they were fresh. The one that I bought was pretty pristine, and I do see the appeal to have those. And depends on what you're going to use it for. Because I've watched a lot of arcade one-up content, and I do see these guys modding them. So if you're going to go down that route and buy maybe just one and mod it, and maybe run MAME or whatever, and have all those games at your disposal, then I could totally understand that. But like you guys said, there are guys kind of buying this for like to be that in crowd of guys, because that's where a general amount of the YouTubers are. Like, if you watch their content, they're kind of these guys. And there's nothing wrong if you want to put these in and have like 20 or so arcade units. I mean, they're not the real deal. Like, if I had the money and I had the space, yeah, I'd love to have my Konami beat 'em ups, and that's mainly what I was focused on. I wanted to get my hands on the X-Men arcade cabinet and the Simpsons one, and I was geared towards getting that I had the money ready to go, and it kind of just went into other things, and I'm kind of sad because I absolutely love that arcade, the X-Men, and I believe it came with the Captain America and the Avengers, which I love that. I have that on Sega. That's another one of my favorite beat 'em ups. So I was geared to have like those three, and I would have been sad if I could get like the X-Men, the Simpsons, and then obviously I have the Turtles. Those were the only ones I was focused on. I totally see the appeal to them. Do I play mine that often? Not really, every once in a while, but I'm a bigger Turtles fan. So to have that is kind of like a piece, right? It's like a centerpiece. It's to have something.
It's to show off. It's to flex.
It is. It's to show off, and it's basically a centerpiece to my turtle stuff. You know, I have my figures and all my other stuff. So, but like Tony said, they are overpriced. I think right now, the newer cabs are coming at around $700, $750. That's too much. That is way too much. That's
that's how much I would think
PlayStation 5 and a Switch.
An original cabinet, actually. Like I
paid
market.
$1,000 for mine, and it had 60 games on it.
Right.
Like it had a JAMA board or something in it that they did, and that's my thing. I shy away from buying these reproduction type of things because I'm also like a lot of the big appeal to me being a gamer is also being a collector, and I really love just like the vintage stuff.
The original.
This arcade looks incredible in our downstairs game room we have here in the corner. I just love it because like Gary said, I don't get to play it a whole lot, and if I'm gonna spend the money and put something in my house, I want something that's vintage and cool. I would just to me, I'd always be looking at that arcade 1-up it's cool, but it's it's like a new cheap
right,
thing,
it's not the real deal.
I wanted to ask y'all, what is a dip switch? I'm really uneducated when it comes to arcade cabinets.
And so that's for, I believe that's for settings. So you would turn a dip switch to get harder difficulties, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Certain lives you can start with
right.
I have my arcade cabinet set to with maximum lives, just because it's if I'm going to sit down and play, I just want to have as many lives as I can and just play, so
the credit counter, is that what that is?
Well, it's kind of it could be a few different things, because I don't know if you're familiar with the what is it, the NWC carts, the Nintendo World Championship carts. They had dip switches on them, and that would switch, I believe, an arcade mode. It would either switch modes or different modifiers on the game.
Yeah.
So
it's something that you would have in your
number
options
of things.
Screen or your settings screen now that you would just bring up. This way, it's just something that you're switching in the back and
right.
No, this is actually a really good topic that I hope I hear y'all talk about more, because like I said, I don't really hear y'all talk about arcade content too much, and I'm just dipping my toes into it myself. And now this comment is saying those arcade cabinets were $2K back in the day. You're a fool if you think $600 is going to be as sturdy. And I'm thinking $600, you're going to get an original arcade cabinet, fully restored. But I guess that's the opposite.
Oh no! If you go,
I got a good deal on mine. I got a real good deal on mine, even at $1,000. I feel.
Right, and here's the thing: if you're going to get something that's like a Turtles machine or a Simpsons machine, you get that restored. You're looking at I think $3,000 easy.
Yeah.
So if it's a popular title, you're gonna pay.
That's if you get someone else to do it.
Right, and the thing is,
chime in, Gary. You can buy old cabinets, and I've looked into this because I've actually built MAME stuff before, and I'm not sure if you guys ever built your own MAME cabinets or.
I wouldn't even know how to begin.
Because what a lot of people do is you just buy an old frame, an old cabinet that was used for some
frame, right?
You gut
it. You can get good deals on those. If it's
you just you can buy repo, not either old new stock, or is that what? Yeah, old new stock. So that stuff is expensive. Or else you just get people who you can buy stuff online. It's what do you call it, reproduction of the artwork,
right?
And then you put it on yourself. So it's not original, but it looks original. And it's made with solid wood. You can get that for decent prices.
And it really comes down to your skill. Like he said, you can do that. If you watch some people's videos, that is tricky. This is kind of why you pay the big bucks to kind of have them restored. Because while you can, do that yourself, being able to get that on without bubbles
It is much
a little tricky.
cheaper nowadays than it is, because you can buy. So here's my mini rant. I wouldn't buy an arcade one up because it is way overpriced, and you're
Right,
limited
I
to
agree.
whatever the games are. And not that I agree with pirating or anything, but at this point, buying arcade, I don't consider using MAME ROMs as really something shady, since you can't really legally buy anything new aside from arcade one up. So you just run a MAME, you get a computer, you run MAME. You can even buy the control pad, with the joysticks. Someone else you can buy it, or else you can build it yourself. And use a monitor, because CRTs are big and clunky and don't need it. And you can make your own cabinet for less than $700, and you can have every single arcade game possible and a computer, since the computer's running it. So that's what I would do. And
Right,
I need
agree.
you to come do that for me then, Ninja Kid.
I've made small ones.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all
They're
are saying like, oh, you need to do it this way or this way, and I'm like, okay, cool. It sounds like you're volunteering to help me.
I could
Not as
literally,
scary as you guys think it is.
I could literally build a cabinet, because that's what I do. I like use woodworking and doing stuff. But as far as like the electronic stuff, no
It's not.
chance.
It's not. It's just a computer with a cable, and you run a program
It's
on
really
it.
not that. Yeah, it's really not
That's
that
it?
hard, and
I love how
especially
you're saying like, oh, it's
That's
just
all it
a
is?
computer with a cable.
How do you
If you
hook
can
it up?
double-click-
How do you hook it up though to make your freaking joysticks and buttons work though? That seems like that would be more than
it
just
recognizes
that.
it just like a normal. Can you hook up a USB controller to your computer right now?
No.
That's basically all it is.
It's too much. That's too much involvement for.
So is this
But
the part where I
that's too
say
hard.
that I'm also, because I've also dabbled into the visual pinball, like the virtual pinball. I assume you guys heard about those.
oh yeah.
Someone mentioned it in
Yeah.
the chat, I think.
And,
Arcade One Up makes those too.
It is. Those
Of
are.
course they
If
do.
you ever are bored, look at people who make their own pinball machines, and they're awesome. Like that's the plan. I've made a small one, like a tiny one, because I didn't want to build a huge one. It is really cool. Like you can make ones for your bar tops that are using just like a regular computer monitor, and it is easy, not that hard. Follow tutorials online, and Genovi's in the comments. He'll show you how to do it. He's a smart
I'm
fella.
intimidated. I'm intimidated.
Yeah, I mean, if you can-
I'm
if
intimidated
you-
by that.
If you can just
I'll
watch
be
like
right back.
a how-to video, I think anybody can get into it. But I do think like there is a misconception, like arcade machines can be cheap. In fact, like locally, the bigger the machine, and it all depends on your skill set, right? If you're willing to take the time to learn how to fix these, and the bigger machines, you can score some good deals. I seen a like Operation Wolf. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but that had like the I believe like 2 Uzis or whatever on the top, and those had like nice force feedback. They had a pretty good kick. That was a great game. We had one floating around for like $500, and it had an audio issue and something else. Well, the machine's like super big and it's bulky, and it's something like you're gonna need like a couple
want a
guys
solution,
to move
Gary?
around. And
Hey Gary, you want a solution?
what's that?
You want a solution? Stay tuned to my channel next year, because I'll make a video. Because
Next
what I'm
year?
making next year. Well, because I'm working on I'm hoping to have a basement in a year finished. And the solution, what you do is you build a pedestal with just the control pad, and then you mount a TV on the wall. And it doesn't take up nearly as much space, and you can put it away if people aren't using it. Super good.
Yeah, but what I want to see you do, Ninja, is to take a 72-inch TV and put it in like a coffee table and turn it into a
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Cool
ask y'all's
table.
opinion though, because like what I'm getting like from people who grew up playing these arcade games and who know like how the games are supposed to look, they're like, oh, like use this type of screen to get the scan lines and use this type of CRT and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, how do you even access like this hardware anymore? Like, I'm sure it's all been like recycled or destroyed in a junkyard somewhere. So like, yeah, like
I have,
that's another
4
like.
TVs in my house.
Oh, you do? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I still have 2 or 3 left.
Oh, wow.
CRTs. I have a few CRTs. That's because it's
Us
fun to put
retro
up the whole-
gamers, us retro gamers have been hoarding them.
You gotta get those Sonys. Sonys are the best.
I like Genovi's comment there about my basement leak.
Oh, Kitty is working on his basement link prior to his basement being built.
Hey, Days, is this where we make our announcement? Hey, do you guys want to hear an announcement?
Yes.
Yes.
Exclusive.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe, and Days and I are gonna rent a vehicle and travel across the states, hitting every video game store, just like a metal. Not like a metal. And we need your money, so
Yes, fund us we're gonna put together a museum.
And if we reach a certain level, we're bringing Carl.
Oh man. No, I would definitely contribute to that fund for sure. It reminds me of that show American Pickers, but y'all are just like specifically focusing on like old video game hardware. That would be really cool. Oh, Genovi says, come see me in Phoenix. Oh yeah, definitely. Like y'all need to stop over there for sure. So like last topic of the night I wanted to bother y'all with let me think. So the Evercade. I know that's another like kind of like hot console these days, and folks are talking about that all over the place. So Ninja, I know you have some opinions on that. I want to get your take on it, and anything worthwhile.
I have one right next to me.
Yes, too bad you can't show it, but like I believe you.
I could show it, but it looks the same as everybody else's, and it's nothing special. And
she's just trying to get an exclusive face reveal.
Well, I had to like. I look like Days, but less boomery.
What does that even mean?
less gray in the beard. That was the only nice thing about that was the only nice thing when we had to wear masks. Like
I might be equally festively plump as Dazed.
Oh,
that's our shape, festively plump.
I like that. I used to call myself that when I was a little heavier once upon a time. But anyway, I wanted to get your take on the Evercade. Yes, go.
I'm not sure if I said anything. I've already forgot about my videos from 2 days ago. That's pretty bad. Because I think I was going to say, because a lot of people were. If I hadn't, I can't remember if I said this or not, but it's an okay machine. But I'm finding a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon, like especially the Amico people. Now we're all interested in the Evercade and making it seem like, oh, this is newfangled machine that came out, and like it's been the news. People knew of it for the last several months, and maybe a certain YouTuber by the name of what's his name? We'll call him P. OEB. Wait a minute, I didn't do that right.
OEB Meat.
OEB Meat.
Well, there's a bunch of YouTubers. Like, is that fair to say that like now that the hardware is actually out, there's a reason for more people to talk about it?
There's a reason to talk about it, but it's just
all it is,
it's all opinionated. Sorry, I was just gonna say everyone has their own opinion, but it's nothing amazing like showstopper. So I don't understand the
handheld.
And I just want to preface really quick,
right?
no shade, no intended shade, nothing like that. Like I'm just asking general questions about people's interest in this. That's it.
Oh, okay. It has a lot of weird European platforming games.
Yeah, like
so I have a bunch of the games, but they're kind of they're not that good.
I don't understand the point of it.
Average.
I don't understand the point of it, honestly. I guess I'm not really huge into handheld gaming. Like probably pretty much any game that's on that I already have in my collection, I would think. I mean, I don't think it has very many rare things in it. So to me, it's one of those other things like, why? Why does it exist?
Why not?
It's how long has the handheld been out for? That's been out for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I have a purple one. I won it in a member raffle on Mad Max's channel, and I've been like, it's the purple one, so it reminds me of like the GameCube purple, and I'm just like, oh boy, I can't wait to play this and blah blah blah. But I'm just like, wait, so like, what game should I get? Like, it's kind of overwhelming because the games are so cheap, and I feel like, the collector in me wants to buy all of them, but then I have like no space in my apartment to really like add more content.
I would suggest one game that is a must-have for that, and that's Xenocrisis. Now that game might cost you a lot of money, but I think of any games that you could buy for the Evercade, that's the game you should buy.
By a lot of money, do you mean like more than retail?
Yeah, I think at this point I don't think you can get Xenocrisis for the Evercade anymore. I'm not sure if it was packed in with a second game, But I do believe, I don't know what do the games usually go for, like $30?
20-ish.
It might be a $60 to $70 game, maybe $100. Just because Xenocrisis, I believe, came out when they brought that out. They did a strictly limited run for the Switch and possibly PS4 or PS5.
Gary.
Yes.
Xenocrisis is comboed with Tanglewood, and it is currently 20 Canadian dollars in stock.
Oh,
Wow.
well, there you go.
I should just import it then.
It might be on the Amazon.com. I looked on Amazon.ca.
It is still available though? Just a standard. I thought they were only like.
Gary,
a
you want to play it
of
even cheaper? You
well,
want to play it
get
cheaper?
it digital. You can get it digitally.
You can play it for free on the Pi Packer.
Well, there you go. But I'm
free.
When are we going to do that? We're supposed to stream with the Pi Packer playing some of those old games.
I am currently making a video about it, but it's taking a long time.
But I was just saying, if you're a physical collector, I think that would be if I had an Evercade, because I don't, and I don't see myself getting one. If I were, maybe the handheld one. I do think the value that you're getting with the collection of games, what they offered, I think it's reasonably priced.
The hardware's good
I don't
too.
see my.
The DS is good. Like the hardware works, runs properly. It is a good functioning machine.
Oh, the Xenocrisis game was the one that was kickstarted, right? And then they put it on Genesis cartridge, and then they put the ROM on every other format. Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of in the vein of like Smash TV. So it looks really good. That's been a game that I've kind of been wanting to play. And like I said, you can get it. Yeah, it's like a modern retro take on Smash TV, and you can get it like Ninja said. You can get that kind of everywhere. You can get it digitally, but if you want to get like a collector's edition, and this is the collector, speaking, I would probably go and get that that would be the first game I'd go get for an Evercade if I were to get an Evercade.
Okay. I do have the Evercade handheld, so I think I will take a look and see if I can get this. Someone mentioned the dual pack is $20 on Amazon. I might just pick that up. Like, these cartridges are just such impulse buys for me. $20 to $30 is the impulse.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Purchase price for me for physical content. Tony, do you have any thoughts on the Evercade? Is it like a niche little thing that you would be interested in picking up, or is it just not for you?
Oh, it's not for me. I'm not a retro gamer, and basically what's on there's a lot of retro games and just crappy indie stuff. Sorry, Gary, but Xenocrisis looks like garbage.
Oh,
those are fighting words. Those are fighting words.
I love Smash TV.
It's coming from a guy who ordered it.
Yeah, I want Dayzed's opinion on this once he goes, because I don't think he's too familiar with it. But go check that out. Then you tell these guys that it looks. Yeah, you tell these guys that it looks really good, because I thought it looked really good.
Robotron, I like those style games.
I think it looks really good if it came out like 20 or 30 years ago.
Oh, let's fight
like the Amico.
See, but that's what I'm all about. I love like the modern retro games. That's my thing.
Yes, same.
I think Tony likes his PlayStation 5, and that's okay.
I like modern retro too, but sometimes when they try,
it's sometimes hard to go back.
Doesn't work.
Well, I think Tony's right. I think not everybody hits the nail on the head. It's not perfect. I don't think it's gonna blow anybody away. But if you were a fan of something like Smash TV, Total Carnage, back in the day,
it's good.
This is your fix.
If you're into that, it's good.
Right.
Mike G's right though. Murder House, great game.
Oh, yes, I
watched you play that the other day.
I want to just really quick highlight Genovi's content. Yes, I do believe in paying for the game when it is available in the format that I prefer to play on, for sure. If it's an older game that's no longer readily available or is too expensive, I know this is a topic. I remember y'all talked about it on the Saturday podcast. I think it was the Saturday podcast, and it was just like in the weeds, discussion about it. And I know it's not like, something that's going to be solved overnight. Everyone has their own take on it. I personally think that emulation is a means of, preserving media. But yeah, for games that are readily available like Xenocrisis, current gen games, like it does behoove the creators of the material if you actually pay for it. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Nobody knows the devs, and I said it was like
I
Tony, take it back.
I definitely don't agree with and I'm sure you're familiar with this, Rhea, that a lot of people were emulating Pokemon Legends Arceus when it first came out, which that kind of stuff I don't agree with. Obviously, Nintendo and Game Freak deserve every dollar because they put a lot of work into that, and that's something that's current. That's something that people can go out and buy. It's readily available. There's no reason for people to be pirating those things. I think the ethical decisions, we covered it really good on Saturday's show. It's really hard because I think Tony and Blinded had their thoughts, and I'm in a gray area in the middle. It's really hard, right? I definitely try to support the devs whenever I can, especially nowadays. Those guys, sometimes when when they're releasing their media, they see so little of the money. But I definitely don't support piracy. But when it's something that you really kind of want to play and get your hands on that you can't readily get, and it's 25 years old, it's a gray area for me.
I don't think I would ever consider emulating or pirating brand new stuff. But yeah, like 30-year-old Nintendo games or Atari games, I have literally no worries doing that, no bad feelings doing that, because those people got paid long ago.
Yes, yeah, no, totally. And I appreciate y'all being willing to share some thoughts on that topic. Like I said, it's not like a one and done conversation. It's an ongoing discussion that I think evolves as more access to old media continues to become public and more means of being able to play games becomes more available. So there's less quote unquote excuses to not pay for these games legitimately and to continue to promote even more games becoming more readily available. So that's another benefit of doing that, in my opinion. Financing one game could show interest in releasing additional games and increasing access to more games in the future, which is what I'm about, for sure. Just making games more accessible. That's the whole reason why emulation blew up, is because a lot of media was inaccessible up until now. But now more media is being re-released legitimately for you to be able to pay out of pocket to own and stuff like that. So there's less of an argument to not pay for them in order to promote more media becoming more accessible. And the brand.
And when you look at a good point is the Cowabunga collection for the new Turtles thing. I agree with Dayzed, and this is, like I said, why I'm in such a gray area, because I could totally understand why those games could be emulated and why somebody would do that. But you got to just look at they're releasing 13 games, and then like Tony said on Saturday's show, they're also giving you the Japanese side of those games too. So
really? That's cool.
That's a whole other thing too, that these Japanese exclusives, a lot of them are still just barely coming to the Western audiences. Live Alive, I'm excited to play that for the first time. I've never heard of this game before. It's from the developer of Earthbound, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm really interested to check out that when it comes out on physical release. And I hope that this encourages the developers to release even more translations of Japanese exclusive games, because that's really big and near and dear to me personally. But yeah. I don't want to keep y'all too long. We're coming up at an hour and a half. I want to thank y'all again for making time to come and hang out with me on a Friday night and just chop it up about games and your channel and the projects you're working on. I want to give a shout out to Ninja Kitty for joining us, even though he's an unofficial member of the Geek Getaway, but I still greatly appreciate you coming to hang out on the channel. You're awesome. And where can we find you at, and what are you currently working on?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
You find me on
me?
The YouTubes under the same name, and I think I'm on Twitter. What's my Twitter thing? Ninja Kitty Life or something? I don't know.
Ninja Kitty Games? Something like that.
I think it's Life, because I took 2 seconds to come up with a name on Twitter. What I'm working on, I have one more video that I'll work on about, similar to my previous topics, about the ethics of being on YouTube and being a retro gamer, and it's been pretty cool. I've had so many comments and so much discussions. It's been pretty awesome, and some other videos have been spawned off from it. So I have one more, and I probably will be playing video games with Dayzed at some point.
That's awesome.
Xenocrisis, maybe? Because
yes,
let's play it.
You can say if it's awesome or not.
Thing going. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I do have a Pie Packer
it
video going. It's gonna take me a while to make the video, and an Evercade VS review, and I don't know, if something funny happens, I'll make a parody video. But that's about it.
Looking forward to it. Thank you again. And,
thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for making time to hang out. Yeah, Gary, I'm sure I may see you tomorrow night on the Geek Getaways channel. But yeah, any topics that you're looking forward to covering soon, or anything else you want to, shout out?
Yeah. So, we always got stuff in the works. We're always, looking up, current stuff to talk about. Anything game related, I'm always ready to talk about. I can't shut up about it. So, I hope to actually release a little bit. I'm going to try to get some of my artwork and stuff in GIFs and have that kind of maybe up on my Twitter. And because I do want to share some of the stuff that I've gotten lately. I'm kind of transitioning more towards the either finding someone to program or programming side. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing some of my work. These guys have seen it in our DMs, but they like it. They like it. So.
Oh, and I used to love when you would cover crowdfunded games as well. You used to do that. I'm not sure if maybe there aren't any that you're particularly interested in covering right now, but because Xenocrisis reminded me of that segment you used to host. Do you plan on bringing that back?
We might actually. There's one that I'd like to talk about. Maybe we'll do that Saturday. But I don't know if anybody has been paying attention, but I don't know how much into wrestling you are, Rhea, but there is a fantastic game right now called WrestleQuest that is coming out by Big Cat Studio, I think. That looked fantastic. That released, I believe, yesterday. They dropped a trailer for that, and that looks absolutely fantastic. I'm a little hesitant about it, but yeah, that's always stuff that I'm interested in, and maybe we're working on another, maybe another day. Maybe if it's not Saturdays and we don't talk about it on the podcast, that's something that me and Tony might bring back a little bit, because I love talking about indies and anything that's new, anything that pops up. That's my bread and butter. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for sharing your creative projects that you're working on, your character design that's been a labor of love for a long time for you, and your fascination with the play date. I really appreciate you sharing stuff on that, because like I said, my recommended feed does not serve me any play date content. So I'm looking forward to if there's any news on it, I will come to you directly with all my play date questions.
Yeah, I need to get busy with that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, Dayzed Gaming. Yeah, thank you again for making time to come and hang out with us. And
no
yeah, any streams, game streams or other videos that you plan on coming out with pretty soon?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm working on a video right now on my Vectrex, so I'm just kind of slowly whittling away at that. Yeah, I'll be streaming with them tomorrow on Geek Getaway, and then I think Sunday. I'm taking my son to Dave and Buster's in the daytime, and then I think that night try to do a stream on my channel. So I don't know. We might play some games. We might do some talking. Like I said, I'm kind of into getting to know a lot of people, and I want people to feel comfortable to come on, and if they want to, even if they have ideas of trying to stream, they can come on and practice on my channel and just kind of get used to it, because it's intimidating when to come on and start that. I know the first couple times I did it, it was just I didn't know what I was doing, and the more I've done it, it just becomes more and more comfortable. So I just want people to feel like they can come on there. I'm not going to judge them. We can talk about whatever, and so yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. Thank you again. And yeah, I will see you over on TonyTGD's channel, the Geek Getaway, my man. Thank you again for making time to chat and harvesting up your crew to come and hang out on my channel. What can we keep an eye out from you? Like anything dropping later tonight or tomorrow before your show, before your big stream?
Nothing dropping today or tomorrow, I think. I got to focus on getting the topics ready for the stream. We have been doing it more in a podcast style because we are on anchor.fm now, Geek Getaway. You can find us that way. And we're doing the after show right after the podcast, where it's anything goes. You got something to say, you want to come on, open panel, jump on in. You want to bullshit, you want to talk with us. Sorry for swearing on your channel. But, you know, just anything goes. Maybe we'll play some games. Maybe we'll dunk on some people. Maybe we'll have some lighthearted discussions or some in-depth, deep discussion where we yell at each other and then we still hug afterward. Who knows? You never know. I'm going to be playing games with Sidekick Max. I'm going to try to work out a schedule. So I feel that works better with everybody be able to know when we're actually streaming and not just random, hey, I decided to turn the computer on and start streaming. So we're going to work that out. Probably play some more horror games. I'm working on a few other things. I'm still working on that book that I'm writing. Still got that going and some other things. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully these guys start dropping some videos for the channel instead of just letting me do all the heavy lifting. Since
I am
Gary and Blinded's not here, but they all have access to the channel because they are.
He's been making those A1 thumbnails for you.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Hey, I've made 2 videos. I'm 2 up on everyone else.
No, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what y'all have in store on the channel. Again, it's always a pleasure to chat with y'all. You've been super, welcoming and gracious with your time and answering all of my super noob level questions when it comes to like this community and just video games in general. So I have nothing but good things to say about y'all. Y'all are wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and play the outro music. And yeah, thank y'all again for tuning in for the Glimmercast episode 26. And yeah, please subscribe and follow to our lovely panel of hosts. Links are in the description. And I'll catch y'all next time. All right, take care. Bye.
Later.